recognize this. I think it's safe to say we've all had problems with these things before. Stick around for a tip that just might help you. Well, you got your wheelchair loaded, and now it's time to use your restraints to get that wheelchair strapped down real good. And you try to get it in, and you try to get things lined up, and you struggle, and the thing just don't want to seem to go in right. When installing these restraints, the first thing you want to do is make sure that this body and your locking mechanism are in a nice straight line with each other. If you have this off to the side while you're trying to put it in the track itself, it's not going to go in, and here's the reason why. As this thing goes down into the track, this lock right here has to be able to raise up. Let me turn it here where you can see it. It has to be able to come up. You see how that comes up? And if it can't come up, the rest of it will not go down and lock in place. And so if you've got the body of the restraint turned sideways as you're trying to get it in, of course you might have it like right now. I have it in the right spot, but it will not go down to be able to lock in. So the first thing you'll do is make sure that you have this straight and positioned correctly like that. Now I have flipped the restraint upside down as to point out the design of the locking mechanism itself. If you'll notice up here, there's a series of what looks to be circles, and how I like to look at it is almost like these are figure eights, and so you would have two of them on here. And so of course, if you'll notice on your track, there is a female representation of this very thing. And so of course what you're trying to do obviously is to take your male figure eight and line it up with your female figure eight. And so that's real simple right there, but that might just help you. Maybe you've overlooked that and you've never seen that before. Now you have taken a look at the design. You get things lined up to where they're supposed to fit, but it just is not happening. Things are not going in right. Let me show you something else that's very important. The tracks themselves, if you'll notice down in the track, you'll see all this trash. And usually it don't take much. If you'll notice here, just a little small pebble right here. It usually don't take any more than just that to keep that restraint from being able to, like I showed you a while ago, to be able to go down in there. If that little pebble holds it up, it won't let it lock like it's supposed to. Here's why it's important to make sure you're sweeping your van thoroughly. For one reason is with these tracks. And if you're just sweeping across it, of course all you're doing is bringing the dirt into the track itself. So take your broom and make sure it goes side to side and get it cleaned out good. Now I've gone back and swept out my track, make sure it's good and clean. I'm going to take my restraint, I'm going to line it up straight, I'm going to line up my figure eights, and if you'll notice I push down, you'll see it drop, and now it's ready. I can go left or I can go right with it. I've chosen to go right. You hear it click in, and there it is. That was just another little helpful tip I'm just trying to give you to help you to have a better day and encourage you along the way.